Hello, hello, RSC people. Oh, we got the cams. Okay, great. Almost thought we lost the cams. Never mind. We are back at it again with the PreJump podcast, week number 5 for season 19. Plugging along pretty well, fellas, as we get to the midpoint in the season. Got a lot to cover tonight, but Rob, Laban, how are y'all doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Excited to be here. Crunching some numbers, talking some stats. My favorite thing. You know how it goes.
Yes, sir. I'm doing just fine myself. Just a lovely Saturday, Sunday. We're on Sunday now. Sunday night, I guess. We're starting it early, okay?
Look, that's the way I love it. I hate going to bed at like 11 o'clock at night. I'm not going to lie to you. But, you know, like we were talking about, we are at that midpoint. So the thing we've been talking about doing at the midpoint is talking about our top 5 standings across the board. We are going to be getting into our good old-fashioned top 5s. Let me get rid of that franchise fight night. Don't need that show in here. Not sure why. Oh, come on, standings. Let's go here.
We're locked in. Let's go.
Oh, this is what I get for having all of this stuff just locked and loaded. Come on. Where
Hey,
is...
It just shows
Fine.
how many graphics that you've been putting work in on, and that's
Yeah,
something
but
that everyone can appreciate.
There we go. Okay, mid-season first 5s. I'll go ahead and get us kicked off here. For Premier, you know, we've got the Tarbage Grux sitting in first place, 24-8. Viperfish, second place, 19-13. Hawk Attack, sitting at 18-14 in third. Interstellar in fourth place at 17-15. And Hurricanes, well, Hurricanes and the Fairies both tied at 16-16, tied for fifth place. And fellas, we've talked about teams that are making a rise through the ranks at the right times, and I'm not gonna lie, the Fairies, who are just outside of this graphic here, are 15-5 through the last 5 match days. They're definitely looking like they might be getting their way onto this graphic by the end of the season.
Yeah, the fairies are gross. I know one of their players, Sniz. He was having internet issues early on in the season, as well as the team just wasn't meshing. So they made a change, picked up this guy named Gray. And I don't know if you're familiar with Gray, but this player seems to be smurfing in Premier. 111 RPV, 14-2 record. Yeah, just ridiculous. And ever since he joined the team, Sniz has jumped up to top 5 in RPV in the tier as well. And I mean, Maj is right below at 4-0. Like they've gone through 9 different players on their roster already, and it seems that they have they found something that's working for them.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
Laban, unless you got anything
I,
for... Oh,
Sorry. I do have a couple things to say. I mean, yeah, we're seeing we see the Fairies at 15-5, but then on top of it, we do have Storm, who's been 8-12 in the last 5. Same with the Viperfish, allowing for possibly some more than just the Fairies to pop up on this board. So we do also have Crooked Capos, who are just 1 game behind at 15-7, 17.
Also, pointing out, well, you said the Viperfish are 8-12 in their last 20. They only have
Mhm.
13 losses on the season, so they started out 11-1. So
Yeah.
really impressive stuff from them. They have slowed down, but it'll be interesting to see if they can turn things back around for themselves.
Mhm.
well, I think that covers Prem pretty well. Mr. Rob, do you want to take us into the Master standings?
Yeah, happily. Let's go into it. In first place, no surprise from last season. Still, you got the Tempest at 23-9. In second, you have the Basilisks at 22-10. Huakaya's right behind them at 19-13. Sorry if I butchered the name. And the Stagnant Snails, surprising everybody. MMR means nothing. The homies with the chem coming out at 18-14. Like, really impressive stuff from them this season so far. And then the Chimeras right behind them at 17-15. Tied with the Crash Compactors. So they're not on there right now, but they do have the same record. So quick shout out Bex and them as well.
It is insane how much Chem can overcome a lack of just kind of MMR skill gap here.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, the fact that they're 18-14, they're 11-9. So yes, they start off a little bit hotter than they've been in the last 5, but they're still looking really solid for a team that only 2 seasons ago they were entirely an elite.
Yeah. No, last season they were just ran it as the 3 homies. Pardon me, of Chips, Skolzy, and Moose, and then this season they're running the same thing again, and cooking more and more with it. So I don't know, man. It's really cool to see as they just continue to improve and continue to cook together.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me the coolest part about the fact that they don't have the greatest RPVs is that just means that all three of them are producing for them. They don't have one standout player. With someone in the way, adding another piece to that, I feel like they wouldn't be as productive as they are now, just with the chem that they have, like y'all are saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Laban, you ready to walk us into Elite here?
I most certainly am. In first, we have Orcas at 25-7. Second, we got Menthol at 24-8. Third is Azathoth with 23-9, tied with Summoned for that third position. And then in fifth, lastly, we have Midnight at 22-10.
One thing that kind of steps out to me as we get into these 32 team tiers, you'll see it further on as we go. There are definitely quite a bit more teams really setting themselves apart of the back, and I don't just mean it from a numerical standpoint, being a larger tier, but almost from a percentage standpoint, right? Because only 2 of the 16 teams in Master were above that 20 game win rating,
Yeah.
and only 1 in Prem was above 20 games. But as we're looking at Elite here, 5 of 32 are above 20. And there's more and more as we progress through these 32 team tiers. It's kind of insane the level of parity that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a quick shout out to numbers, right? We have been perhaps their biggest haters, and I mean, we did this last season because it looked really good, and again, they're coming out being really impressive with no real tier breaking teams, right? Like you said, there's no teams right now that's like 30-2. There's no hammerheads. There's no one even close to pushing something like that. And so it's really cool to see how when numbers really like I mean they just are doing an exceptional job, and I can really leave it at that. So really impressive stuff from that whole committee.
For sure. I mean, they've always, in my mind, have always produced some pretty good number sheets, except for obviously that Hammerheads team. But it's really cool to see them being pretty consistent with that. Possibly one team in there that may not be so. I mean, you got a full team of tier mins and the Pixel Picassos, and they're popping off. But even still, just doing some really good work over there.
Are they popping off?
Yeah, they're 19-13 right now.
That's good.
Full team of tier mins, basically.
Yeah, speaking to that Chip, Skullsy, and Moose team, kind of
Yeah.
the same thing.
Well, I think that's a good spot to roll right into Vet. Keep this plugging along pretty well. We're going to be in Veteran looking at Singularity topping the charts here, 25-7. Gouda Gangsters from the Cheese Guild looking at 23-9 in that second place. And then Banana Spiders, Makos, and the Wyverns all sitting squarely in third. Sorry, can't forget the Gorillas. 4-way tie at 22-10 is insanity for sure. A lot of teams really are duking it out for that top spot, and we're still halfway through the season. So I mean, at least for me, fellas, I don't know who's gonna be that team. I don't know who's gonna set themselves apart.
For sure, it's just something we got to keep an eye out on, because that four-way tie, any one of them can either jump way ahead, or some very well may fall behind. But with how close that is looking, it's gonna be fun to watch both teams rise up and fall.
There's just so much parity. This is a lot of fun. So it's going to be a lot of narratives all season. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces, a lot of teams going up and down the standings, and it makes every game matter more. It makes people care more about the individual games, about the individual matches, makes people show up more, and it's just continues to be a really positive thing for the league.
For sure, for sure. Well, Rob, I am ready to see what you've got for Rival here.
Yeah, let me kick us off. So in first place, you have Lukathu or Lukathu. I don't know, one of the two probably. At 25-7. Right behind them is Eclipse at 23-9. Matza Marauders at 22-10. Mercury tied with Tardy Tortoises and Tort Reform all 20-12, rounding us off at the top. I mean, right behind them, also you have a three-way tie at 19-13. So again, you have all of these teams neck and neck right there, stuck with each other. I mean, 3 teams in Lunar Mountain at 19 and 13 or better. I mean, that's gonna be a crazy division moving forward. I mean, it's the whole tier. It's these 32 team tiers, man. They got so much going on.
Well, and I want to point out, it's not just the division, the conferences we're looking at in terms of the playoff hunt as we're getting into that time of the season. Looking at the solar side, a 17 and 15 team, the Werewolves are currently looking to be squaring up for that playoff spot. And a 15 and 17 team in the Hugh Heroes are currently on the border, still possibly going to lock in. But if you look at the lunar side, you have to be at least 17 and 15 to have a chance. It is kind of a wild difference between the two conferences right now.
Yeah, interesting. That is a very
It's,
good
but
point.
not only that, but then you also look at last season. A very similar situation to last season. Lunar having this really tough conference, and you have to have a very good record to get in. And then Solar, obviously, you do still have to have a good record one way or another to get in, but the bar is a little lower, being at 15 and 17 versus 17 and 15.
For sure, for sure. Sorry, I was a little bit joking in there on the beef jerky I've been rocking with. But Laban, if you want to roll us through Chally, let's keep it going.
Most certainly can. In first place, we got Breadsticks at 27 and 5. Second, we have Shock at 25 and 7, with Yig as well, also being 25 and 7. And fourth, we have another tie at 23 and 9 between the Slow Starfish and the Flailers.
There are 3 teams in RSC currently that are sitting at 27 and 5, and you really can't say that they're not that team when you're rolling that strong this early in the season. I mean, 27 and 5, they're 16 and 4 in the last 5. Breadsticks, I know they've got 2 teams right on their heels at 25 and 7, but that's really, really solid for a start.
Yeah, but I think it's going to come down to how their division matches play up the second time around, because you look right below them in the standings. We were just talking about a different division being pretty tough. Lunar Ember having a 27 and 5 team with the Breadsticks, a 25 and 7 team with Yig, and the Slow Starfish at 23 and 9. And the lowest team there is 15 and 17. So that whole division holds 3 of the top 5 teams, and then another team at 500. So you have, I think a lot of the seeding is just going to come down to the final match days, where those inner division games really happen. And as long as these teams can stay on their heels, it's going to be up. They basically control their own destiny for that one seed. You're going to have an opportunity to play the Breadsticks head to head, and if you can take that series, it's I mean, it's yours. The 1 seed is also yours for the taking.
For sure, but not only that, you look, all 4 of those teams are in the playoffs. The Apple Associates right now have the last wild card spot. So that last 3 match days, those last 3 divisional match days, are going to be really important, not just for the Breadsticks, Yig, and the Starfish, but also for the Apple Associates staying in that playoff hunt.
Yeah.
This is absolutely bonkers. But you know, I am ready to rock and roll right into the lower class, getting us kicked off here into the prospect tier. We've got Whiskey Business, 27 and 5, sitting squarely in first place. What the heck is a Bakrug sitting in second at 24 and 8. Envy and Barbarians tied in third at 21 and 11, and the Spastics sitting at 19 and 13. That Bakrug team, I don't remember it looking that good last season, Rob. This seems to be a bit of a flip from last season.
Yeah, it's probably Tech just being really mean to his players. It just like the way that he's always talked about them, I just have never seen him not call them frauds. And at some point, like if you continue to make fun of your own players to that extent, like I guess it works. That might be the whole Mythos like strat. Maybe that's why all their teams are good. But it's something's working for him over there.
Clearly so, because what I'm looking at, most of their most of their teams are in the playoffs right now. I will say one really interesting thing is looking at the bottom in the playoff hunt. You got 3 teams tied for 16 and 16, and that is the line for making the playoffs. You have 2 teams that are 16 and 16 in playoffs right now, and the Skeletons are just barely below that line at 16 and 16 as well. So this line that you're looking at, the 16 and 16 line to make playoffs, I'm excited to see what happens there because I feel like there's going to be a lot of moving parts there. Going to see some teams that you don't expect and see some teams that you do.
Also worth mentioning, that Whiskey Business at 27-5, they have a higher past opponent win percentage than any of the other teams in the top 4. So they've been playing good teams, and they're 18-2 in their last 20. Wow, that's really impressive stuff out of them. Numerically speaking, statistically speaking, they look like they have the weakest strength of schedule going out from here, and they've had one of the strongest up to this point. So if they could just win out or get close to it, and they have done the work and might just walk straight into the 1 seed in playoffs.
Almost forgot to unmute myself. For sure. Rob, I really love it. But you want to roll us right into Tendy to Tendy here. Can't
Happily,
even...
man. Yeah, no worries. Let's take it.
Oh, what is this?
Oh, that's a bait. I got you though because I have the standings on my other monitor. I'm always ready. Anyway, in first place, you can pretend that you see Cheese Pizza right there with a record of 23-9. Right behind them, you have the Pastry Pioneers at 21-11. Next, a two-way tie between Gluttony and Wisps at 20-12 respectively. And rounding out our top 5, you have Ice from the Elements at 19-13.
I went ahead and put us back on the camera here while we talk about Tendy, just so they're not looking at a broken sheet. I don't know what's going on, but that is wicked. No, but dude, Tendy is such a weird one, right? Because it's so heavy at the top for like the top 7 spots, and then it immediately drops off a cliff because you've got 4 teams with 20 wins and above, 4 more teams that are still positive, and then immediately the back 4 are carrying the load for all the not so great stats.
I mean, particularly it's even just the back 2, right? Like even the other 2 at 13 and 19, you're one good match day from being one game out of playoffs. But I mean, Devoured at 4-28 and Static at 6-26. Are they eliminated from playoffs already?
I'm pretty sure. Well, even if actually no. Technically, they're not mathematically eliminated because yes, they could still win. Well, no, it is a shortened season. It's not a full 16, is it?
Yeah.
God, quick maths.
I think it's one good match day from any.
They just gotta lock in
on the line.
They just gotta lock in, and they are there
for sure. And dude, I'm absolutely shook. The Hippie Hunters, 18-14. They're currently sitting tied for 6th. They're outside the playoff race. They're 18-14, and there's a chance they don't make it. Like that's what you love about teams without those divisions, where you're just having a bunch of players duking it out, and quite frankly, someone's gonna be upset. It's gonna happen. Someone's gonna be upset.
Yeah. Someone's gonna get the short end of the stick.
I mean, that's what happens when you have 2 teams that are doing not well in that 4-28, 6-26. There's going to be a lot of wins up at that line, but teams that aren't going to end up making it eventually. It's crazy to see, but I guess that's just the way it goes sometimes.
It is. Well, a tier that's dealing with the exact same issue, but on a weirdly different scale. We're going to move on to our last tier of the night. We're going to talk about... Let me get rid of this broken standings here. Okay, Amy works.
It's broken
we got
again.
Amy.
Oh,
no.
I saw the contender. Didn't realize that you'd switched to Amy yet.
No, so you go ahead and take us through, Laven.
Okay, sorry. But in first place, we got House Salads at 27-5. And second, we have Sathila at 20. that makes a lot more sense. Cathilla at 20-12, Sketch Squads
Clip
18
it.
and 14. No, please no. We don't need another
Cathilla?
situation like it's fine. In fourth, we have Sacrifice 17 and 15, and in fifth, tied for fifth actually, between Bunts of Steel and the Shadows 15 and 17.
So this is kind of shades of season 16. I think it's season 16 or season 17 actually, where Bunts of Steel were just outside at the midpoint. And then they said, hey, by the way, that was with Raichu, Kakashi Rage, Casca Reborn, and I think Sugar Biscuit. So that team was pretty solid. But they popped off, made a run on the table, and I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but Ami's that tier, where anything can just happen in the back half of the season.
I mean, yeah, what's crazy is you see Cathilla at 20 and 12 right now, and they've had the second hardest schedule of anybody in the entire tier right now. Tied with a team that's 10 and 22, and the only team that's played people with a higher win percentage is currently 6 and 26, and they've contributed pretty heavily to that. So for them to have to be 20 and 12, and the team that they've played be combined to have a 53% win rate, to be decently above 500, and they're 20 and 12. They're 7 games back of House Salads, but they've played a significantly harder schedule. I wouldn't count them out. It looks like a one-man race, but it might not be.
For sure, but then on top of it, you do also have to look at the future schedule. House Salads, already has that 7-game lead, and they are tied for the worst, for the easiest opponent win percentage leading on. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to keep up the pace, or if they're going to let Cathilla catch up with them.
Well, they're tied for the easiest with Cathilla.
They
so
are.
There's a chance that it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
The biggest issue there is that 7-game
Yeah.
lead, though.
Yeah,
So-
that is a lot.
But you never know. It's Amy we're talking about.
I love my numbers. Love my numbers, man.
Boss, apparently, chat's saying you're muted. I don't know if that's true.
Let me. Maybe? Hello? Maybe? Maybe. Maybe, baby. Hey, there we go. No, I was saying for sure. I love Rob getting excited because he gets this record breaking. I don't know what went on there. You know what? This is what I get for running double duty again, producing and casting. Rob, record breakers. Do you want to start us off with a couple to kind of, dip our toes in the water here?
Sure. Yeah. You want me to go through all of them?
Oh God, how many do you got? Do we have? It's not like last season. We don't have a bunch, do we?
No. I mean, it'll take me like 5 minutes, maybe. If that.
Run with it, man.
Nice. All right. So starting from, should we start in Premier or Amy? What do you think?
We could start from the bottom, work our way back up.
Word. All right. Starting in the best tier, bottom tier, you got Amateur, and first of all, also the RPV sheet with all the stats not all the way updated, so some of my things may be slightly off, / I may not be talking about some if stats have not been updated for that particular tier and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but that's neither here
Either
nor
way.
there. That's just, yeah.
Yeah, we still have a decent amount. So starting in Amy, you have one player in particular with an absurd statistic at this point. So it's House Salads, right? They have the 3 top RPVs in the tier, and 2 of their players right now are on pace to break the assist record, and one of them has 10 more than the other. So the assist record in Amy is 47. We're at the halfway point. I'm lit has 24 assists, so they're on pace to basically break it by 1. And then their teammate Rampage is tied for first in goals in Amy, and has 34 assists, on pace to break the assist record in Amy almost by 20 while leading the tier in goals.
Mhm.
So kind of crazy stuff from Rampage on that front.
Imagine breaking the record, but it's just not good enough because somebody else is just that much better.
Yeah, and you're on
Let
his
alone
team.
I was about to
You're
say,
on a
let alone
team.
he's your teammate too.
Like if you're
God.
this me lit guy, right?
Smell
Like
it. It's
smell it. Well, I like it better the other way.
Schmeelit. Yeah.
I'm lit, man.
Hey,
Oh,
you've got the mic. You're in charge.
yeah. Come on now. Anyway, what's crazy is that this player is tied for second in goals or tied for third in goals and is second in assists and is behind their teammate in both. Like you're putting in work, but I mean, KD and Steph, man, like you got to feel good at that point too. That's why they're 27-5 and looking so good. Anyway, not trying to take too long. Moving into contender, the main record that I saw was actually being threatened by one of my IRL buddies. Go to college with him. His name is Balance. He has 15 MVPs already, and the all-time record in contender is 26. So at the halfway point, on pace for 30, breaking that by 4. Pretty cool stuff coming out from Balance. 15 MVPs and 20 wins. That means 75% of the time your team wins, you're on top. So impressive stuff. Into prospect, the main one that I saw was the goal record being threatened by a player who's on, I don't know, what is a Bokrug? No one will ever know. But their name is Jazz Magic. They currently have 46 goals, and the goal record in prospect is 89. So on pace for a solid 92. Very close. Might not break it, but on pace is on pace, so we're going to count it for now. Moving into Challenger, you got 2 being threatened. It's going to be the shots and assists record. Shots, the record is 245. Spooky currently has 140, on pace for 280. And the assist record is 62. In Cage Kami, where Sin My Valentine has 35 assists, on pace to break that by 8, getting to 70. In Rival, I actually saw 0 records being threatened, so let me know if I missed that, either in the chat or toss me a DM or something.
Rival,
For all
step
the
up your
tiers.
game.
Yeah.
As long as it's not for saves.
Yeah. Right.
That would be so shook if you had you get a record once, it lasts for a season and it's gone.
Well, actually, moving on to Vet, the only record that is being threatened is actually my record. So I had 32 MVPs, and Skep is currently tied on pace for that. He has 16. I ran into him on an alt the other day in ranked. I just said, Skep, are you an RSC? He was like, yeah. I was like, don't break my record, please. He was like, who are you? I just didn't talk about it. But
God.
I had to win for the ego. Anyway, moving into Elite. Surprise, surprise, Roxy, right? Threatening a couple records here.
What a shocker.
Yeah, right. Points-wise, the record for Elite is 30,903. That is actually the point record for any tier in RSC, and Roxy is on pace to currently break that by about 1,500. So 16,000 points, 16,311 points at the midway point is on pace for 3,260. Or 3,600. That is a lot of points. And with that comes a lot of cycles. Roxy has 15 of them already. The cycles record in Elite is 23, and I could look around the rest, but I would presume that 30 cycles would be an all-time RSC record as well. So keep an eye out for some of the things that Roxy's going to be doing as the season comes to a close. It is crazy. In Master, going off cycles again, that's the only one being threatened. The record is 22. Jay currently has 13, so on pace to break that by 4. And into Premier, you got a couple fun ones, right? We talked about all last season about Laban, your competition with Anti for saves and saviors and whatnot. And all of it is for nothing because Brody is currently on pace to shatter every save and savior record by 30 miles that we have ever seen. So halfway through the season, Brody has 75 saves, on pace to break the record from last season by about 30. Crazy. And the savior record in Premier is 24, and Brody already has 17. So just ridiculous stuff. He's actually on my Prem team, so go Brody. Keep saving shots. The assist
Come
record,
on, Brody.
yeah,
It's not that many. You can
Not
have
that
the
many.
you can have the Prem one.
not the rival or all time.
Beat the all-time. Farm
And,
the saves.
For assists, the record is 59. Almost Magic Mike has 32 right now, on pace for 64. And finally, the cycle record is 25, and Rule currently has 13, on pace to break it by 1. So those are the records that I saw. I might probably miss some. So if you see any in there that I didn't mention or whatnot, please toss me a message. Or just in chat, I will happily talk about them and make sure that people who deserve their credit get their credit. Thank you for listening to Rob's Record Watch.
All right, Laban, I know you did some research. You've got a few names as well you want to talk about. Kind of some big people here, but I swear to God, I know you sent me the list, so I know what I'm talking about as well, and I can't find it anywhere. Did you DM it to me, or did you put it somewhere?
It's in our segment talk. It's in our
Segment talk. Oh my God, I was looking in Gen Chat DMs. I was looking in script. Like, where is this?
Nope, it's all right up here.
Oh God. All right, what you got, fam?
All right, so I know Rob already talked about a couple of people, actually, most of the people, I guess. But so really looking at the top RPV leaders from Rival down to Ami, and Ami is Rampage and House Salads. Rob already brought them up earlier, but 94.9 RPV, tied for the most goals at 36, most assists at 34, and they've played all 32 games. So having a 94.9 RPV at 32 games played, not that easy. And they're on a stacked team with, like Rob said, the other two top 3 RPV players. And they end up having an 83 RPV and a 77.4 RPV.
Okay.
Not sure if you have
Okay.
anything to comment, but that's
No, I'm just letting you cook,
incredible.
fam. I let Rob go at it. I'm just gonna let you go at it, and then I'll
All right.
throw in like 2 names that I've been paying attention to.
And then in contender, we have It's the Kid on Gluttony, who is the third place team in contender with an amazing and outstanding RPV of 107.9 in 20 games played, which is incredible. They're in the top 3 of goals with 33, and they lead assists with 25, which is not something easy to do, especially only in 20 games. So it's going to be fun to watch, see if they go up in RPV, if they go down, but not just that, how much they're going to be able to extend their lead in assists, and if they're able to take that top spot in goals. In Prospect, we have Jazz Magic and Bokrug on Bokrug, who are the second place team in Prospect. They have a 93.6 RPV, all 32 games played. Second in MVPs, lead prospect with the most goals in 46. Also in the top 10 for saves with 36 saves of their own. Challenger, we have Spooky Crafts on Yig, who's the third place team in Prospect and third place in their conference. Sorry, I just realized I said in Prospect. In Challenger, with a 105 RPV in all 32 games played. The second most MVPs with 14, and an amazing amount of goals with 50. Leading challenger with that 50 goals. They're also in the middle of the pack with saves and assists, but the main production they've been having are those 50 goals, leading their team to wins with those goals. Lastly on my list is Sonder from Lukathu, who's the first place in Rival, both overall and in their conference. 97 RPV, 27 games. They're not leading in any stats between goals, assists, or saves. However, they're very consistent with it, having 28 goals, 26 assists, 26 saves. Really just contributing on both the offensive front and on the defensive front, just being productive in every way possible, getting their team wins that they need. Just like the House Salads, which I brought up earlier, they also have the top 3 RPV leaders on the same team, with Smite having a 93 and Bevsky with an 88.8.
I don't know
Really
if your
just
sheet is updated.
is it not?
I don't think so.
I got
Really?
Sonder at an 80. I got Smite at a 76.
Oh,
And I got
Oh. I have Sonder at an
Bevsky at
84.
68.
I have Smite at an 87.2
Whoa, all of our sheets are different. What's going on?
Look at that.
I'm looking at RPV. I'm not looking at SPV or IDO.
I'm
Yeah.
also looking at RPV.
No, I'm the one who always looks at SPV. Rob looks at RPV. Don't accuse me
So
of my shit.
Sonder-
That's my shit.
Saunders' SPV is an 84. Their RPV is a 97.
Yeah, I don't know why, but Rob, I'm seeing 84 as well. So I don't know if maybe your RPV sheet is showing some old stats.
Let me just go check the link directly from RSC, because I don't know. Sometimes this happens where like the link just expires if I just have it pinned, and then I have to like go get the new link. So perhaps my stats are outdated. So I apologize.
So-
let's see.
I've only got one name tonight, so when we're done, I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna just go.
Okay. Just to finish my point,
Sorry
either
about that.
way, no, we're fine. It's not that big of a deal. My main point between the House Salads and Lukathu is really Array and Tech 4 showing us yet again how well they're able to build teams for each one of their tiers.
Yeah.
Fair. All right.
Also, it seems that my stats were wrong. I just checked the news sheet, and it does have Lukathu as the top 3. So I don't know if any of my numbers were off, but the stats seem to be the same, but the RPV seems different. So
Okay.
W's.
All right. I'm going to cook. I'm going in. Here we go. So I'm going to
nuts.
set the stage. We're going to talk about the greatest player in the history of RSC ever. One game,
God.
1 goal, 3
Oh,
assists,
yeah.
4
Okay.
saves, baby. Sitting at an RPV of 215.7. So I just want to talk about Soup from the Recluses. I don't even know how that spits out that number, but dude,
Statistically, fucking the entire tier, because RPV is a relative stat. So as a master player, I want
God.
to know what my number would be like normally be.
yeah, it literally
Because
shifted.
it's relevant.
It's
Dude,
nuts.
now no one else has above a 75 because it's relative, and like the highest, like there's 3 players with above a 70 RPV because they don't compare
Oh,
to Super
God.
216. So I tagged him in GM Hub the other day, and I was like, Soup, please sub up again. I need you to play more games because I need to see the rest of the tier actually like equalize, get to normal spots.
I don't
But,
understand, man, because like I'm trying to figure out how it generates a 200 plus RPV out of one game.
Well,
But
the dude had a 759 points in that one
no,
game.
that still should be 215.
Three
Rob's
assists,
right though.
four-
For anybody who's not familiar with RPV, like most of these stats are entirely relative. If somebody's jacking up the cap, everybody else gets screwed. And Master, like Rob said, 75 is like the cutoff for everybody
the
else.
highest for an actual starter is 74. Like, and then 72, and then it's 66. Like, these players are your MVPs of the tier, and they have a 70 RPV, man. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know, man.
Tell Soup
Inst-
to either
Seuss.
continue to go nuts. Just give him another opportunity.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we're done clowning around on what's going on for stats, let's go ahead and talk. Actually, if you guys are good, we'll go ahead and roll into our next segment for the night. We'll talk a little bit about the franchise fight night that's going to be coming up. So for those of you who aren't familiar, we ran one before. Let me get us put over into... Come on. Play nice, why don't you? No, I don't need title card standings. Come on, franchise fight night title card. I don't know why it's doing this. It does this every time. There we go. Oh my God. Finally got the RSC hype chamber going ham. This will be March 1st. It's going to be this upcoming Friday. We're going to have 2 series. One between the veteran tier for the Cheese Guild and the Shadows, and then one for the Prospect. So the veteran tier is actually moving their Monday matches from the following Monday up to that Friday. So this will be the first franchise fight night with actual matches that matter, that actually matter. with the prospect modes being show matches, it's okay. But like my man, I'm actually excited to see actual RC matches being played on Friday.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
It is. It's gonna give us something to look forward to in that Wednesday to Monday break that we have.
It's
Really
like Monday
excited
Night
to watch.
Football or Thursday Night
Yeah.
Football.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
I'm
Do you know if this is going to be a mainstay? Have we decided yet if this is going to be a thing that we continue to try to work, or we just like see how it goes for now?
So right now I've been working with the GMs. It seems like this is kind of what we're shifting towards because it worked really well in twos for generating a lot of hype, getting the GMs involved, getting some interviews going, and really just kind of building some rivalries in the tiers or in the franchises. But as long as the GMs are willing to rock and roll and play with it, I'm going to keep trying to get at least a few of these scheduled per season to keep it running.
That's exciting. I know I got to cast some of the Twos League ones, franchise fight nights, and they're a blast for everyone involved, whether you're a player, whether you're staff working with media committee or not, or if you're just a watcher. It's a whole lot of fun. A viewer, I should say.
So let me just go ahead and walk you through this here. So right now, as the standings currently stand, the veteran tier is going to be kind of wild. We've got the Gouda Gangsters sitting at 23-9 on my standings here, going against Nightmare, who are 13-19. So it's not exactly the most even, but this is going to be kind of interesting because Tuxedo Marks, GM for the Cheese Guild, will be going off against Tor, GM for the Shadows. So we'll actually get to see GM versus GM violence on the pitch.
That's exciting. It's always
Oh,
fun,
yeah.
especially when you get to take it out of chats instead of GM Hub. You get to just fight them, and
Squash
it's on a
that beef.
franchise. It's like a franchise fight night, so you're really just like franchise versus franchise. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm the better GM. I beat you. Ah.
You know they already had some hype between the two of them, just getting to play with each other, playing
Yeah.
against each other.
Yeah.
But on stream, on a specific day for franchise fight night, they're both going to be coming out swinging for each other.
Oh, 100%. And like I said, the second matchup, that's going to be our prospect tier. We're going to have Cheese Guild Munster Misfits sitting at 14-18 versus Darkness, who are currently sitting at 12-20, which should be shaping up from what I looked at on the stats as a pretty even matchup. So while this won't really be for actual stats or actual matches, it's still going to be hopefully a really good match for RC in general and getting good content on the stream.
Yeah, no matter what happens, it's going to be fun and funny.
100%.
So it's nothing but a positive thing.
100%.
I'm excited for it. I'm not sure about y'all. I mean, I'm sure y'all are excited, but I can't wait to watch.
I'm currently scheduled to cast it, so I'm absolutely
I
excited.
see.
I promise I am excited. I love casting these. I'm still looking for another co-caster, and I've been poking other people around the league, but nobody has messaged me back. And
What time is it at?
First matchup technically is at 9:15 p.m. EST, so it starts actually significantly earlier than a normal Rocket League matchup. But we will probably start the stream at closer to like 8:55, so we can do quick interviews with both GMs and kind of just talk about how the season's shaping up.
Yeah, I actually won't be able to do that, unfortunately. I have to stay around until like 8 or 9 CST.
No, you're good.
But hey, for those who want to catch it, I'm casting this Monday. Both matches. Tune in if you want to see Rob cast. Sometimes I do that.
Want to be the following Monday? Because I thought this Monday.
I'm casting the following Monday.
The following
not next
Monday.
but the one after that. So tune in. It's not me. This
Oh,
Monday,
man.
though. I was wrong. You're right.
Speaking of this Monday, we do actually have. I'm just going to rattle off what's coming up for the week, and then we'll kind of roll into the last two short segments that I've got here. Just some real minor things. Monday, 2/26, we've got an elite matchup: Thunder versus the Dumpsters, captained by Earth and Stamantics. That'll be produced by Zypheron and casted by Thog the Homie and BBC Comedian. BB comedian. Don't clip that.
Please clip that.
Wednesday, 228, prospect matchup sitting in for Backrug versus MV. Alter Sparky and Tech 4 captaining their team. And we don't have any casters or producers yet. But then on Thursday, we've got a 1v1 show match. It'll be between Ghosty and Dolphino. That'll be produced by Bladed Raptor, casted by Thog. I'm going to keep ignoring Twitch chat and hope nobody ever sees that ever or brings that up ever again.
It's too late. I already clipped it.
Oh, jeez. Anywho,
That's what you get for last season.
that is what I get for last season. Oh, man. But a lot of solid RSC content is going to be coming your way for sure. But let's see. What did I have next? Did I actually even have another subject set up next? Title cards. What do we got?
Boss, what's that time and date on that 1v1 for the chat? They might have missed it.
Oh, I thought I said it's going to be this Thursday. Kind of a weird day. Bladed Raptor, though, didn't want it to conflict with anything else. So absolutely solid time frame. It's going to be 9 p.m. EST.
Word.
Let's see here. But just want to roll into the next segment. Something pretty short, sweet, and simple. We're going to be talking a little bit about RSC trading cards. Something that Mr. Chips, I believe, is the one who brought it up to me and said, hey, this is something you should look into doing. And, you know, I'm not going to lie. Let me just pop this up here. Let me just throw this up over my cam. I think this would be...
while you're doing that, I'm gonna find there was someone posted it in a serious suggestions channel, and then Chips kind of ran with it. So I'm gonna find who had the original post while you talk about it.
I actually think it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to get up some kind of Ninja, I'm telling you, that's the night that Dondo decided to drop the F-bomb live on stream. Anywho, immortalized in this trading card, you too can acquire through trading with Boss Rodala. But I really don't think, because it's a stationary thing, that it would be that difficult for the dev community to really kind of program, because a lot of their stuff is, as long as it's stationary, it's not terrible. Rob, I take it you found the original...
Yeah. So it was Lepless Demon or Chelsea Acacia, and she brought up the concept that EU has, where they like open like FIFA packs, where you can have like a team of the week player, and there's statistics. So it's set by tier. So like the elite players seem to be there's 381 overall elite players, and then rival is 74. So probably rival 70 to 75 overall, vet 75 to 80, elite 80 to 85, so on and so forth, and then you have team of the week versions of each. And so if I don't know if this will help or if you could do anything with this on stream right away, if that's even possible, but I am sending you a screenshot of what I'm talking about.
Oop, let me see. I might be able to get that on here pretty quickly.
Because it's really cool. I don't know how we would do it, but that'd be fucking awesome.
I'm currently
team merchant myself.
I'm almost done chopping it in. Boom, there it is. There's our Moose card. Just want to throw it in there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Look at that baby.
Greatness. That is a beautiful photo. Look at that guy. That's 4 trophies and a hunk of a man. That's all I gotta say.
All I gotta say specimen, but that works too.
All right, let me see if I can get a specimen. All right, let me get this. All right, Rob's DM. God, I haven't even looked at the picture. I hope there's no like profanity on this.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, goodness. Oh, I can't just import it as a copy paste. I actually have to save it to my desktop, import it from my desktop.
Oh, you got
it. Hey, if anyone wants to be a producer for the PreJump podcast, we are always looking for more help, more names. If you just want to get more involved, can never hurt to toss a message in either our Discord or DM myself or Boss Radala. And I don't know, even if we don't say yes right away or whatnot, we are always looking for help and ideas. And if you can bring those, we're always around.
Oh, look at that. There you go. Threw it up over my little screen.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Nice. So it's a little bit hard to see, but you can see these individual players have their RSC IDs up there, and then they have an overall with like their base cards, right? And you have your team of the week, and maybe that's a clip of the week card. I don't know. But let's say that you go crazy and you are the player of the week, because we already have that, right? We have our three like top players of the week. And so we could give those individual players team of the week cards where there may be, I don't know, you were there for goals, your shooting stat is up by 5 or something like that. I think that'd be really cool. It'd be a way to immortalize weeks and moments that players have where they perform really well. Maybe you have a really good week, right? And you get your own team of the week card. And I think that's really cool. And it's some dope novelty, and it's a really, really dope idea. I don't know how it would work logistically, but I think if we
This
can
is the
expand on it and not
Dumpsters,
give up on it, that it's
Captain
really
by
there's a lot of
Earth and
potential. To be
Stemantics.
awesome.
That'll be produced by
For sure.
Cypheron and
I'd tell you what,
by
I'd be happy
Thog
to see
the
it
homie and
if
BBC
we were able to make
comedian.
it work.
Neutrino says we need to make them into
comedian.
NFTs, and I could not agree
Don't
more.
click that.
Oh no,
Please
please.
super with it. That'd be hilarious. Give me a Bape Neutrino Team of the Week card, man. Bape Monkey, come on, man. We're locked.
Oh no.
Laban, I hate that that's immortalized now.
Yeah, so do I.
I legit I hate it. I saw it. I hate it. All right. Oh man. No, we are not doing NFTs. We are
Please, no.
no. Imagine putting your decentralized currency on a centralized currency exchange. We're not. No. No. Anywho, fellas, outside of that, I think that kind of covers everything we really were set out to look at. I don't think we missed anything, right?
As far as I know, no.
I haven't glazed my own team yet this pod. Maybe I missed that.
All right, you can pick one. You can pick one. Go at it. Oh, there it is. That's a difficult decision.
I probably have to pick our master team, the one that I'm on.
The one that you're. Oh, there it is. He's not even gonna glaze a team. He's gonna pick himself.
Yeah, man. Greatness.
What a stud.
We may have been 8-8, and then we went 0-8, and then we were 8-16. But if you look at the last week, we are 7-1. So you better watch out, Master, because we're coming for you. If you look at just the last week, we look pretty good.
You know, maybe that wasn't the best team to
Oh,
glaze
man.
right about now.
Nope.
Could
7-1
probably could have
7-1
probably could
in
picked
the
a better
last
team to
eight.
glaze.
Pretty
What?
good record for the last day. Doesn't get much better than that, Layton.
My
Oh,
old rival
goodness.
team gets much better than that. I'll tell you that much.
Well, it's your old team, not your current team, so doesn't count.
Fuck.
Well, you
Yeah,
know,
you're right.
if y'all are good with it, then I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna transfer into our exit screen. We're gonna call it a night. It's been a solid hour with you fellas. Rob, Laban, thank y'all for joining. Thank you for hanging out. And hopefully we'll get into some more content next week. I know Thog said he'd be on, so I'm really excited. That'll be kind of a blast from the past. If y'all, bro's the Glizzy Gobbler. But for everybody else who's tuned in, thank you for joining us here for yet again another exciting episode of the PreJump podcast. We'll catch you next week.